Chapter 3, so far, we've had a brief overview of property management, and we've also had a brief overview of the economics of property management. And we are talking an extreme 10,000, 20,000 foot overview. Not possible to get down in the weeds with too much of this. The same thing will apply for Chapter 3. You will be looking at some ways that you can build a relationship with a property owner to become a manager for that owner. The first part of the chapter talks about business entity types that you might want to consider to form your business as a property manager. And I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that because it is a little bit beyond the scope of what we want to do in this class, but it's important that you at least have some passing familiarity with those types of things. I can tell you that most people these days either operate as a sole proprietorship or a limited liability company. I work in a law office and we don't form too many corporations anymore. The limited liability companies seem to be the most popular. They're pretty easy to form and to work with as you go along. I do recommend that you talk to an accountant or another professional if you're planning to set up a company or get started as a property manager, so you get some professional legal advice about the best situation for you. And also an accountant would be able to tell you about tax ramifications and that kind of thing. The second part of the chapter talks about some things that you would want to have in a contract and how you have a relationship with your owner as a property manager. Again, I can tell you that in my experience, the number one problem I see with any relationship, whether it's a business relationship or personal, is lack of communication. If you keep your owners apprised of everything that's going on, the good, the bad, the ugly, get out in front of the bad stuff, be the one to tell them when something not great happens rather than have them hear it from someone else or find out about it later, I guarantee you will have a much better relationship with your property owners. And if you're a business owner and you have employees, kind of the same thing goes. You would want to hear it from them first before you heard it from someone else. So just keeping the lines of communication open is super important. And treating people the way you would like to be treated. Honestly, if you can just keep that in mind, it doesn't even matter what the law says. You'll always do the right thing if you treat people the way you would like to be treated. So I want you to take a look at, the one assignment we have today is to look at a sample contract. I highly encourage you, if you are going to go into business and be a professional property manager for other people and manage their properties, that you have a good contract drawn up by an attorney that covers you so that you have the expectations about your duties clearly established and how you will be paid. And what happens if there are expenses that come up? Let's say you have a crummy tenant and you need to evict that tenant. Make sure your contract addresses whether you will be paying that fee up front and get reimbursed from the owner, or whether the owner will have to pay it up front before you will file the eviction, or whether that's going to be one of your costs of doing business. These are all things that are good to have spelled out ahead of time in a contract. I have another saying that I like to tell, and it goes like this: if it's not in writing, it didn't happen. So you may have a conversation with somebody and you may think you're on the same page with that person, but if you don't have it spelled out in writing and you get down to a fight later on, it's highly likely that it's not going to end as well for you as you would hope. So get it in writing, get a good contract, and communicate. Those are my suggestions for you for today. Again, I apologize for the mess up on the date on that discussion board. Hope you'll be able to get in there and take care of that. Remember, use your book to take the quiz. How many instructors do you have that will tell you to use your book? Please, I would much rather have you know how to find the information than I would have you try to memorize it. Just take that few extra minutes, get those free points. You may see some of the same questions on the final exam, so it would be good to know where to find the answers if you don't know them by memory. And again, I look forward to continuing to work with you. Please don't hesitate to ever let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Have a great week.